So Judge Cameron Curry ruling that the appointment of an interim U.S. attorney, Lindsay Halligan, was invalid. Our correspondent Mark Meredith is reporting live on this breaking news. He's got brand new details out of Washington for us. Hi, Mark.
Sandra, I sure do. Good afternoon to you. Well, the Justice Department's case against both the former FBI Director James Comey as well as the New York Attorney General Letitia James was already facing some serious scrutiny. And today's ruling means, at least for now, both cases will be dismissed. But we are waiting to see if the Department of Justice may try to do this again. Comey was indicted back in September, accused of lying to Congress. The charge had that statute of limitations, meaning there was only a small window left for this case to be brought. And Comey had pled not guilty. His legal team had claimed the DOJ had made a number of mistakes, including that the person bringing the case, Lindsay Halligan, as you mentioned, should not have had the job. A federal judge agreeing today, writing that Halligan, the interim U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, had secured this indictment unlawfully because she was unlawfully serving in this role. She was also facing questions about what materials the grand jury saw and whether a final indictment had actually been presented appropriately for a vote. Also in Virginia, but down in Norfolk, the DOJ was charging Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, with mortgage fraud. The government had claimed she was able to secure a favorable rate on a second home down there, but she had not filed the proper paperwork, basically had lied on that paperwork, and that she had never occupied it as a primary or secondary residence. Basically, they accused her of using it as a rental property, but she got a lower mortgage rate. She had pled not guilty to those charges while she was down in Norfolk, and she had also been quite vocal, saying that this was a political prosecution and that she felt that she was being singled out because of her previous actions against then candidate Trump after he had left office in 2021. So what's next here? Well, the Department of Justice will have a chance to say what they think of the judge's ruling, whether they're going to be pushing for an appeal, and whether or not that they would still try to bring any of these additional cases here. Lindsay Halligan, as I mentioned, is still being questioned about whether or not she is serving appropriately in this role. As you see her right here on her screen, Halligan is likely to have plenty to say as well. There have been some questions about her lack of prosecutorial experience before this case, but the Department of Justice also making it very clear that they want to see these people brought to justice. They felt that there had been wrongdoing here, and we'll look to see what their official comment will be. My colleagues have also reached out to the White House. I'm sure they're going to be reacting in real time today as well.
Hold on one second. We're about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we're doing over here, baby. Let's go.
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, reported by Bennett Johnson. Rogue judge dismisses indictment against James Comey, ruling that U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan's appointment under the Trump administration was invalid. What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? That don't mean a whole bunch. It just means that they're going to try him somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? They just going to redo it. But what does it symbolically mean? You see, I said this about what was being done to Donald Trump, and I'm going to say it again. When you have a strong man, sometimes the only thing you can do is consistently resist that strong man to make people perceive that he's weak. And the issue when that man is perceived to be weak, it emboldens everybody else. They even said it, we're going to resist, but nobody, this is what resistance looks like. And see, resistance puts a strong man in a situation where he has to decide if he's going to use a heavy hand, he's going to use a light hand. And then when he goes to use a heavy hand, and you cry and whine about him using a heavy hand. Therein lies the conundrum that Donald Trump is in. This video is not going to be long. I don't really have much to say about this. I just want you guys to understand the conundrum in which he's in. However, the solution to the conundrum is purely a biblical solution. It's right there in the Bible. It's right there. It's right there. Hold on, I'm going to show it to you. I ain't going to be long. It's right there. And I was thinking about this earlier, and I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm sitting outside smoking a cigar, and years ago I interviewed Robert Greene, the author of the 48 Laws of Power. I talked to Robert Greene on the phone maybe once a month. And we would talk about the concepts in his book, The 48 Laws of Power. This is around the time when him and 50 Cent came out with the 50th Law. Hold on, let me see if I have it over here in my library. Lord, my ankles hurt. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I know I have 50 of law around here somewhere. Give me a second. Gotta be around here somewhere. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. There's no way that book is not in this house. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. There it is. I knew I had it somewhere. The 50th law. There was a time period where I used to study this and apply this stuff to life. And I always felt guilty about it. You know, I really did. Especially when I applied it to people. Because it's really the study of human nature and how people believe, how people think, how people behave. But when you really get down to the bottom line of it, many of the lessons from the 50th law are in the Bible. Right there in the Bible. I mean, right there in front of you. But I understand why Robert Greene or 50 Cent wouldn't pull it from the Bible. Because it causes this skepticism that you have to defend. Now you find yourself defending the word of God, whether it's true or not. Then you find yourself being like people call you being a heretic and all the rest of this. But let me just show you this. All right, guys, I'm back. All right. Now, the preference is not the preference. The inference that I'm making here is that there's a level of strategy that's within our Bible that men don't study. And there are patterns here that men don't study. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Bible Gateway read this story to you. But this is King David after he defeats Absalom, his son, who tried to take over the kingdom. He tells one of his warriors, hey, don't kill Absalom. Joab's like, nah, I'm going to kill him. So Joab kills him. He's pissed off at Joab. He's like, yo, be gentle with him because he my kid. I know he wilding, but yo, you got to be gentle with him. Joab's like, nah, I ain't playing none of that, sir. The dude tried to whack you. I'm whacking him, right? Joab gets demoted. And then one of the dudes that was under Absalom gets promoted in Joab's spot. You may be saying, well, James, why is this so important? Listen to the story. Then another dude named Sheba, while all this confusion is going on, Sheba pops up and says, hey, I ain't about to have nothing to do with Israel. I ain't got no descendants of the tribe of Jesse. We ain't got nothing to do with the tree of Jesse. They ain't got nothing to do with us. Oh, Israel, come roll with me. And people start abandoning David. Start rolling off. So David says, no. Y'all go pursue him. And he tells Asama to go and pursue the dude. That dude piked him. He ain't getting it done. So he gives a direct order, go take this dude and kill him. And that dude just piking, just chilling. Meanwhile, the dog Joab is sitting back like, yo, you demoted me from being the head captain. You gave the order to this Negro right here. He ain't handling business. But I'm going to play it so you can hear it. Hold on. I'm going to play it so you can hear it. So I don't have to read it. I'm going to play it because the names, I mess up the names. Watch this.
2 Samuel 20. And there happened to be there a man of Belial, whose name was Sheba, the son of Bichri, a Benjamite. And he blew a trumpet and said, We have no part in David, neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to his tents, O Israel. So every man of Israel went up from after David, and followed Sheba the son of Bichri. But the men of Judah clave unto their king, from Jordan even to Jerusalem. And David came to his house at Jerusalem. And the king took the 10 women, his concubines, whom he had left to keep the house, and put them in ward, and fed them, but went not in unto them. So they were shut up unto the day of their death. living in widowhood. Then said the king to Amasa, Assemble me the men of Judah within 3 days, and be thou here present. So Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, but he tarried longer than the set time which he had appointed him. And David said to Abishai, Now shall Sheba the son of Bichri do us more harm than did Absalom. Take thou thy lord's servants, and pursue after him, lest he get him fenced cities and escape us. And there went out after him Joab's men, and the Cherethites and the Pelethites, and all the mighty men, and they went out of Jerusalem, to pursue after Sheba the son of Bichri. When they were at the great stone which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them, and Joab's garment that he had put on was girded unto him, and upon it a girdle with a sword fastened upon his loins in the sheath thereof. And as he went forth it fell out. And Joab said to Amasa, Art thou in health, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him. But Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand. So he smote him therewith in the 5th rib, and shed out his bowels to the ground, and struck him not again, and he died. So Joab and Abishai his brother pursued after Sheba the son of Bichri. And one of Joab's men stood by him, and said, He that favoureth Joab, and he that is for David, let him go after Joab. And Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the highway. And when the man saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the highway into the field, and cast a cloth upon him when he saw that every one that came by him stood still. When he was removed out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab, to pursue after Sheba the son of Bichri. And he went through all the tribes of Israel unto Abel, and to Bethmachah, and all the Berites, and they were gathered together, and went also after him. And they came and besieged him in Abel of Bethmachah. And they cast up a bank against the city, and it stood in the trench, and all the people that were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down. Then cried a wise woman out of the city, Hear, hear, say, I pray you, unto Joab, Come near hither, that I may speak with thee. And when he was come near unto her, the woman said, Art thou Joab? And he answered, I am he. Then she said unto him, Hear the words of thine handmaid. And he answered, I do hear. Then she spake, saying, They were wont to speak in old time, saying, They shall surely ask counsel at Abel. And so they ended the matter. I am one of them that are peaceable and faithful in Israel. Thou seekest to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why wilt thou swallow up the inheritance of the Lord? And Joab answered and said, far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy. The matter is not so. But a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri by name, hath lifted up his hand against the king, even against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto Joab, Behold, his head shall be thrown to thee over the wall. Then the woman went unto all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba the son of Bichri, and cast it out to Joab. And he blew a trumpet, and they retired from the city, every man to his tent. And Joab returned to Jerusalem unto the king. Now Joab was over all the host of Israel, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada was over the Cherethites and over the Pelethites, and Adoram was over the tribute, and Jehoshaphat the son of Ahilud was recorder, and Sheva was scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar were priests, and Ira also the Jerite was a chief ruler about David.
Now, what's the lesson in this story, ladies and gentlemen? If you've been sticking with me, because some people be like, oh, you know, he started talking about that Bible again. I can't stick with him when he started talking about that Bible, dog waters. What's the lesson in the story? The king gives an order, right? And he made a compromise because he wanted the people to roll with him. Because remember, this was Absalom, his son's army, that rebelled against him. So he takes his right-hand man, Joab, and says, look, I'm going to demote you, and I'm going to put Amasa in so I can keep these dudes with me, right? So he makes a compromise. Dumb decision. Makes a compromise. Them little dudes, like Amasa, he gives that guy order. The guy rolls out and he tarries too long, which means while the enemy is fleeing, he gave him 3 days. While the enemy, Sheba, is fleeing, he like, yo, go get up all the army, gather all the homies, we gonna ride. So Amasa take forever to ride to gather the homies. So Joab is back at the castle like, yo, King, your man's is tripping. He tripping. You told him 3 days, it's been 4 days. And David's like, yeah, you right, my bad, Joab. Like, if we don't handle this, homeboy, Sheba gonna get to a walled city, which is gonna cause us a problem. Later on in the story, you find out he got to a walled city, right? So David said, nah, ride out and go handle that. So so Joab and all the mighty men, the mighty men is them dogs that David had. They ride out. Then we gonna get them. Oh, they run into homie on the road. Amasa right there on the road. He's like, yo, come here, dog. Man, we've been worried about you. Yeah, where you been? Mind you, he got a whole army that he raised with him. We've been worried about you, dog. Damn, where you been? Got him. Bleed him out right there. Why? Because he failed the king. Why? Because he failed the king. He got him. Yeah. Now, some people say, well, Joab was like, yo, I want my position back. Well, damn, Joab deserved the position in the first place. He was the dog. So, got him out. Then he said, yo, imagine thousands of dudes out there. He's like, yo, who here be for David? The king. If you for the king, then we ain't worrying about what happened to homeboy right here. Who y'all with? That's like him saying, oh, we gonna beef out, we gonna fight because I murdered him or dealt with him. Everybody like, nah, we good. They take his body, throw it in the field, cover it up. Then they ride to the area where the issue is. Now, here's the lesson for the Trump administration. You see, you've allowed your enemies, because of the lack of your generals actually doing things, you allowed your enemies to be completely and totally fortified. That's why we see stuff like Kilmore, Brega, Garcia not get thrown out of the country. That's why we see crap like James Comey or whoever it was just recently, judge saying, oh, we're going to throw the case out. They're completely fortified. All you got to do is surround them in press and make the enemy start throwing people's heads over the walls. But you won't surround them. You playing games. You like, oh, I'm going to tweak this and say this. And I'm sorry, if you have an Amasa in your army that's tarrying too long, then you're going to need to get rid of them. I ain't saying kill nobody, because people are like, oh, he's threatening to kill people. No, the lesson in the story was, not back in the biblical days, yeah, they would be killed. Point blank, period. But we ain't in them days. Everybody's so civil and so nice. And although when the Democrats get in, they're going to whack all of us. Although Bill Gates is talking about genetically modifying, killing all of us. But whatever, that's fine. They're going to kill us all and murder us all and inject us all and give us all cancer. News came out today that 10% of the people in America have cancer. But whatever, that don't matter. 10% of American citizens have cancer. Never seen before, but whatever, it don't matter. It don't matter. None of that make no sense. Let's be nice about it. The point I'm making is, anybody that stands in between you and your enemy got to go. They got to go. If they're tarrying too long to pursue your enemies, they got to go. Now, what's happening with Donald Trump's enemies is they are fortified, completely and totally fortified. Yeah, well, Donald Trump is still in the deep state. QAnon, he posted QAnon post. So nothing can stop what's coming. It surely is stopping what's coming. It's all right there. You know, there's a wicked ass dude there one day. In retrospect, his ass is wicked. He was talking. He was like, yo, you know, the Lord gave you a kingly mantle, man. You really need to study the book of Kings. And you need to read the books of Samuel. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get some. Right? A year later, I get to him. The first time I crack open the book, I realized this dude is a wicked piece of crap. The first lesson in the book was like, yo, that one right there is a wicked piece of crap. The first lesson. When I crack it open. Oh, I see this pattern. That's your ass. Oh, no, you got to go. Bye. You a backstabber. The backstabbers. They're smiling in your face. Down all the time. They want to take your place. The backstabbers. All you fellas who have someone and you really care, yeah, then it's all of you fellas who better beware, yeah, yeah. Somebody's out to get your lady. A few of your friends, they sure look shady. Oh my God, Donald Trump. Read the Bible, homie. Read the Bible. Right there. Imagine for a moment if King David would have just waited for homie Amasa to come back and be like, nah, I'm chilling. You know, I gave the duty to Amasa. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go over here with my concubines. Remember, it says he didn't go into the 10 women that he had. You know what go in mean, get the booty. He didn't go in unto them. He locked them away. Girl, y'all go get in this, y'all get in this building right here. I ain't about to be laying up with y'all right now. Y'all are distraction. Them 10 women represent all the distractions that the Trump administration has dealt with. All them stupid ass wars, all of the Israel crying and whining, all the Zelensky and Russia and China, all that represents the 10 women. All of them begging for his attention. Come over here, daddy. Donald, come get me, daddy. Meanwhile, your enemy just riding on his horse with a whole army, fleeing. And then they get to a walled city and they fortify themselves. And it's the crazy part about what's going on. Donald's whole army is like, pursue, overtake, destroy. They're chanting, pursue, overtake, destroy. Pursue, overtake, destroy. And he tweeting because he got a massa. Got a massa right there in his camp. He got a whole bunch of amassas. It's past Bible stuff. I mean, it's past prayer time. I'm an hour over. We'll see y'all on the next video.